Cate Blanchett starred in Borderlands, and this is still her weirdest film of the year.
Det är en svart storm som nalkas.
She can only speak gibberish.
Bäraren av deras budskap.
Swedish. She's just speaking Swedish.
So the leaders of the G7 countries are here for a meeting, and they're supposed to be putting together a draft statement concerning their response to a global crisis or something, which apparently we're meant to believe that they do sitting all together without any aids helping them whatsoever. So they all sit down together for dinner, and then almost everyone else in the world just kind of suddenly disappears, and it's very unclear what's going on. And also there's bog zombies who are constantly masturbating, they show up. And there's an AI paedophile hunter and a giant brain sitting in the middle of the forest. Yes, this is a real film. So Cate Blanchett is doing her best impression of about 6 different powerful women at different times, it feels like, as the German Chancellor. Could have bet good money, by the way, before starting this film that she was going to be playing the German, even though she's Australian, right? It doesn't matter. They got actual people from the right countries to play, like the Japanese, French, Italian guys, because who cares, I guess. And then the most random Canadian man in the universe. I don't know what they were thinking when they came up with that character, but they were also in the middle of coming up with this whole film, which is just insane, so fair enough. And then they got Charles Dance, of course, to play the American president. Doesn't once even try, even a little bit, to put on an American accent. That was maybe the weirdest choice of the whole film. I can't, Charles Dance. You could convince me that King Charles is American before you could convince me that Charles Dance is American, okay? Wouldn't matter. Like, it's trying a little bit to do the whole these politicians are useless and can't do anything for themselves thing, but it's also trying to be an apocalypse film. And I don't know what it wants. I don't know what it wants from me. I don't know what it wants me to feel. I'm left feeling mostly just disappointed. Yeah, it is ridiculous on another level. And it feels, and then I looked it up after and realized, oh, it is. But it feels massively like it is just a really out there cokehead director trying to make a more mainstream sort of film, you know, bringing in bigger actors and trying to make it more palatable in some way. He doesn't. And honestly, I don't know why they do this. I'm trying to sell out for more money, I guess. But if you're freaking insane and your films have no point and are just nuts, why don't you just do that instead of trying to make something like this? Because you're just going to dilute your own style and nobody's going to have a good time. Not your fans, not regular people. There's so much to dissect about this film, and so little energy that I can actually bring to dissecting it or thinking about it, because by the end I was just like, that's it. They're really not going to go any further into explaining a single thing. I didn't realize for the longest time that it was the sort of film that was going to be like that. And it just feels lazy to me, because I know that it's all nuts and they have some random explanation in their own head for why they're making it like this and doing all this. But if you can't explain it in a satisfying way, or if you can't create all this nonsense and then actually give some sort of payoff to it, that just feels lazy to me. That's just the way it is. So, couldn't get on board with it at all. Tried a little bit, was enjoying some parts of it. Thought it was going to be reasonably good when I started it, but no. By the end, I just feel like this is a complete waste of time. It is so out there, artistic, bullshitty that there's just no sense left whatsoever. And I'm giving a literal big brain film 1.5 stars. They're just, they have such reasonable arguments as well. It's not even trying to make a point that politicians would all fall to pieces and be just as feral as the rest of us in this sort of apocalyptic situation. Nothing like that. They're all, well, not fine, but they act very reasonably.